Righto.
Mate, if you're happy to keep going along, let's welcome everybody back. Cheers, everybody.
Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Ranger and Chow, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm the Chow. That's the Ranger. You'll notice the fact that he's much bigger than me. And also red-haired. One of these days, I'm just going to have to change the whole colour scheme of everything so your hair's just burning red. All right, mate. So we are both pretty missed today. So I want you to just throw a topic out there, and then I'll tell you what's wrong.
Here it comes. Gen X. I'm Gen X. I think you're Gen Y. But Gen X, when we were kids, we'd just go out on our bikes and we'd say to Mum would say, when are you going to be back? And we'd say, when the street lights come on, before dark. She'd go, where are you going? We'd go, I don't know yet. They'd be, all right, well, have fun.
That's
you know what
true.
I mean?
That's not true. You were like,
so
we're going out for an hour, and you would be like, you know what, just don't come back until the street lights come on. But Mum, that's 12 hours away. Yeah, get out of the house.
Something like that as well. That's right. Go out. Get out. Go. Where are you going? I don't know. We'll ride our bikes down the valley into the city. What are you going to do in the city? Shoplift? That actually happened to me, by the way. I was shoplifting when I was a little kid, about 9 years old.
No, I am appalled. But how could you
steal
from a multi-conglomerate, multi-billion-dollar?
Believe it or not, it happened.
Yeah, we've all made bad decisions, I guess.
Anyway, I think I had a Mars bar down my pants or something like that, and store security caught me and pulled me into the office.
You told all the girls, wasn't it?
What have you got in your pants? I'm like, nothing. What do you got in your pants? Nothing. All right, drop your pants.
It's just a fun size.
Now, back in the day, a store manager of Coles can tell a kid at 9 years old to drop his pants and not get prosecuted. So I had to drop my pants and the Mars bar fell out on the floor. And they're like, right, now we're calling the cops. And the cops came along and I'm in trouble. They told a 9-year-old to drop his pants. See the difference? How much things have changed?
Look, even as the kid's parent, you couldn't do that in public anymore. You'd be prosecuted.
It's crazy how much things have changed.
Oh, God,
these days they'll get
leave
sued.
Your dog in the car when you go to pay for fuel these days, or you're a criminal.
If that happened these days, my mother would be saying to them, I want a year long free subscription to as many Mars bars as this kid wants. Otherwise, we're going to sue you. And they'd be like, all right, take all the Mars bars you need, all the Mars bars you want. That's the difference. It's done a complete 180.
Yep, because everybody's so sensitive, or because there's such a high quantity of people on the earth that the ratio of good to bad is starting to increase with more bad being out there. Who knows? I'm not a scientist, I'm not a mathematician, I'm not going to run the numbers, but I reckon there's something there. But anyway, yes, your day was a lot more innocent. You were allowed a lot more freedoms. When I was a young man, my parents were very, very strict. We lived on a no-through road, which had a nice big hill down to a cul-de-sac, like two cul-de-sacs that split off different directions.
We did too.
Maybe 10 cars a day would go down there.
That was basically the same as where we lived.
We weren't allowed to ride out unless Dad or Mum were out there. Yeah. We lived 500 meters from the primary school, and I have two older brothers ranging from 5 years, 3 years myself, and we weren't allowed to walk the 500 meters to and from school on our own. We had to be escorted by our parents.
Wow.
Literally straight line, 3 blocks. Yep. So we were more sheltered than you were.
Me and my brother used to ride our bikes 2.5 Ks to school, and it was up a big hill. Oh, you wanker. I don't believe you just did that. You grammatically corrected me.
The guy that struggles to spell chow.
That's great.
Corrected people's grammar.
That's right. Yeah. Anyway, we used to ride our bikes about 2.5 Ks to school. And it was all uphill, so it took us a good hour to get to school. But at the end of school,
too, wasn't it?
At the end of school, we would come down that hill, man, doing about 60, 70 kilometers an hour on our bikes, throwing through corners and shit in the middle of a 2-lane highway and all that sort of stuff. Cars spinning past us and things like this. And we never were wearing helmets, nothing. And I never come off once, and my head did hit the gutter, but my backpack was in between.
That explains so much.
My backpack was between my head and the gutter. It acted like a helmet. This woman stopped. She goes, "Are you all right, love?" And I'm like, Yeah, I'm fine. Straight on the bike, down the hill I go again. Lost a bit of skin off that, that sort of thing, but
I remember
didn't matter back
being
then.
probably 13, 14. Had a girlfriend at the time, pretty keen on her, and she lived 5 minutes push bike ride up the road.
Was she like 8?
She was the same age as me.
That's good to know.
That was my high school sweetheart. And I was like, yep, I'm going over to her place this afternoon. Gonna have a great afternoon. It's pouring down rain. It's not going to stop me. 5-minute ride. Jump on the push bike, going along, and there's a little bridge that you got to cross, and it's got those big metal railings that the council put in for safety of cars. And on the back of those has a big chunk of C channel made of steel. Just before that bridge, there's a stupid S bend on the footpath because the council were questionable.
You came off in the S bend.
Came off the S bend in the wet, going past, trying to get my girlfriend's house.
Straight into the railing.
Hit the C railing, and it just went straight through the side of my ear. But it also hit my head pretty hard, and I sort of stood up a little bit hazy and went,
that does explain a few things, mate.
Oh, there's a lot of blood gushing from my head down my shoulder. I might be in trouble here. Try waving down cars, not a single person interested. I'm like, she'll be all right. Jump back on the bushy, get over to my girlfriend's place, and a few stitches in the ear. Something to be said about a helmet, because I reckon that.
So, Chow, how old were you, young stud? What was your first? How old were you for your first kiss with a girl? Let's make it with a girl.
First kiss. I reckon it would have been year 1, and Aaron Coggins was the girl.
Aaron,
yeah, I know, right? It was definitely a girl. I can probably find an old.
You sure? Did you know what you were checking back then?
Back in those days, things were black and white. There was girls and boys.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, mate. But I'm just asking the question. Are you
no
sure?
In between. Aaron Coggins was her name, and I remember getting the caramello koalas, and get the twin packs that were 2 in 1 together. Yeah, sharing one of those with her, and that got me my first kiss. Whew, I was a stud.
That's sensational.
Do you remember that far back, mate?
Mate, I think my first kiss was when I was about 7, and it was with the girl that lived behind my place, and she was about 6, and we didn't even know what we were doing. It was just a peck on the cheek. My first proper kiss, knowing what I was doing, was in about grade 7. So I would have been, I don't know, 12, 13, something like that.
Okay, well, if we're going to the real life things, I reckon my first proper, as they call, I don't rang up. You're looking here. French kiss.
Oh, inverted commas. Nice.
So my first real kiss would have been with my high school sweetheart, and I remember it fondly. I was out in front of one of the classes, about to see her off as I was going to my class. She was going to hers. Big kiss out on the front balcony there with the port racks and everything. Oh, I felt magic, mate, that year.
Did you marry her?
Nah.
So you just had fun with her and then disposed of her, did you?
Look, we had a good 4 years together until she dumped me for my brother's balding friend just before the formal that I was forced to go to her with, because there were so many plans already in place. No bitterness, nothing awkward about that at all. Good 4 years wasted. Left me for a balding guy. No.
That's fantastic.
Chow was not offended by that at all. No.
So good.
Look, so young,
were you a bad breaker upper or a good breaker upper?
Look, depends how you look at it. I was good for my bank account. I was bad for my social status. Basically, we broke up, and I just started.
Your bank account? What the hell does that mean?
I had 6 jobs at one time, and just worked 80 odd hours a week between all the jobs, and never saw friends, never went out. So we finished high school, didn't do the whole clubbing thing. That didn't interest me. Too many people. So I just went and earned lots of money, which, in hindsight, for anyone who knows who has a second job and you get taxed exponentially on the second job, you don't earn that much money by working that hard.
However, the Chow is doing very nicely in 2022.
And only by sheer coincidence, because it was only the fact that I was doing so many jobs, 3 of them were delivery jobs, that I was on the road a lot, and as mentioned previously, a bit of a lead foot, and happened to lose my license, therefore having to adopt a office job right next to a train station, and sent me on a lifelong trajectory to being somewhat successful in the mid-range world and happy with where I am for the moment.
Well said, you rich prick.
Are the things that run through my mind when you speak. All right, mate. Well,
please subscribe, people. We need you to click on that little red button, and don't forget to click on the bell so you get notifications when we put up new videos as well. So,
not that you need it. Every Wednesday, every Saturday, I'm gonna get it up there for you guys. And if I don't, my bad. I'm sorry. All right, big fella. It's
See ya.
real. See you, mate. Cheers. Oh, that's a shame. I was halfway through that mouthful when I had a big belch coming, like I usually do.